And so you were known, or you were quite respected for your longevity as a bodybuilder. You're almost 2 decades in the sport.
Yeah, I competed
16
from
years IFBB, isn't it?
in the pros, yeah, but all up I competed from age 13 to 42. 42 was my last show when I won the universe.
Yeah. And so you grew up in Wallsend, up in Newcastle, with a family that were heavily involved in bodybuilding. And
my grandfather, he got me started because he used to do a lot of weight training, and then I started at 13. And when I was 17, my mother was like me, and she used to like eating, and she was pretty plump. She's like, if I ever get in shape, will you do the doubles with me, the couples? I went, yeah, you get in shape, thinking she never would. 8 months later, she got in shape. I'm like, fuck, I've got to go on stage with my mum now. So I just won the Mr. Australia when I was 17, and come time to do the couples, and she was on the other side of the stage, and I walked over there. We were on the Ray Martin midday show back in the day, and she tells the story that here comes her son to give her words of encouragement. I just walked over and looked at her and said, don't you fuck this up. And I walked off. And now she's standing there more nervous. So we go out to do our routine. And then I could just see in her face, she just went blank, thinking, oh, fuck, she's forgot it for sure. So I just reached down and got her hand and lifted it up and moved her. And like everyone's like, oh, we look down, the judges are crying, people are crying. So I forget what song we had on, me and my friend. I can't remember what it was.
Photos on Instagram, they look like
but everyone's like, oh, that was so beautiful in the routine where Lee took your hand, and I think Mom's like, yeah, I forgot what I was doing, so he just reached out and got me. So even though it was a mistake, people thought it was actually part of the routine, and that's what I tell people too. If you ever are going to do a bodybuilding routine on stage and you forget, just keep going, because nobody knows but you or your family. If you've practiced it with a friend and they know the routine, sure, but nobody else knows. So you get so many people who'll be like this, and they go, oh, and they just blank on stage, and it's like, just keep moving, just do whatever pose you can, because nobody else knows what your routine is. So
yeah, so much more respect for like the classic and the opens bodybuilders posing as opposed to like men's physique, though, because I've done a few of those kind of men's physique or classic physique, and with men's physique, it's really easy just to pose. It's like quite fluent. But when you actually see the opens men's and that doing back double bicep, front side chest, tricep, like it's really like an art form, and especially that classic physique. Now, and we'll talk more about those opens guys as we go through the podcast today.
But I upset a lot of people last week, or have been saying for a long time now, there should only be open bodybuilding and none of the other stuff. Classic to me is bodybuilding, because that's how it used to be before people started getting the big guts, and the judges said if your gut gets too big, we'll mark you down, but they didn't. So bodybuilders got that sort of bloated look, so they thought, well, we need classic to bring it back in. But if the judges just judged on the classic type physique, guys with the big guts would have got rid of them if they wanted to place. But physique and all the other stuff, bikini, it's like, look, you want to do that shit, go do Hawaiian Tropics at your local fucking pub or bar. Because it's like, to me, it's like they're just dumbing it down. Before, if somebody was a pro, you knew they were a pro by looking at them. Now I've got people telling me they're pros. I'm like, what, lawn bowler? You don't look like you're fucking trained. But yet, about though in physique and classic, it's like, yeah, but we've all been there. Like when I started training at 15, I probably looked like a men's physique. 17, 18, I looked like classic, and then I became more into the thing. And it's like, they used to just be like the winner of each thing would get a pro card. And you look back at the amateurs back in the day, the amateur lineups were so stacked because people would have to stay there till they got their pro card. You had to be good enough to turn pro. Like no other sport do they, like let's say when they do basketball, they're not going to make a division for me to bring the hoop down 4 feet because I can't reach it up there. Or if I want to go to the Olympics for running, what's Hussein running? 9 what? Oh, I will make a special class for you, 14 seconds for you idiots that can't run that fast. That's what they're doing in this. They're just fucking, look at people go, well, Lee, that's not fair. They want to compete. Then compete in the amateurs. Be a great amateur. With the internet today, with YouTube or Instagram, you can make just as much money still if you've got a good physique. You don't need to be a pro. So there's so many pros up on stage now. When I see them standing there, they look like bad amateurs. You don't even half know their name. They're just standing there as stage decoration. So they should just stay to amateurs and let the pros be the pros. But now it's just like everyone's getting the pro card. I think Jose Raymond said at the Universe not long ago, all the competitors now over a couple of hundred, and all the pro cards going out and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, it's just ridiculous. It's just, and then the shows drag on when you go to them at night time because If you go to watch the men's open, you got to sit through all that other bullshit, wellness, bikini, and it's just like, oh, this just drags on.